Leaving behind the glamorous world of Hollywood is never easy, especially for actors at the height of their fame and success. Yet, some chose to walk away from the spotlight when they felt a divine calling, trading fame for a life devoted to faith and service. Here is a list of 12 remarkable actors who left Hollywood solely to answer God's call. Loretta Young. Loretta Young's journey from Hollywood stardom to a life deeply rooted in her Catholic faith is a testament to her unwavering commitment to her beliefs. A celebrated actress of Hollywood's golden age, she earned an Academy Award for The Farmer's Daughter and delighted audiences in films like The Bishop's Wife, which echoed her spiritual values. Her transition from the bright lights of Hollywood to a life centered on morality and service showcases the profound influence of her faith. Raised in a devout Catholic family, Young's religious convictions guided her throughout her career. Even as a young actress navigating the glamour and challenges of Hollywood, she remained steadfast in her values. She often sought spiritual counsel before taking on roles and was known for her determination to avoid projects or scenes she considered morally compromising. Her faith extended beyond the personal sphere. She spoke openly about her opposition to abortion, considering it contrary to her beliefs in the sanctity of life. She often used her platform to advocate for alternatives and support for women, reflecting her compassion and alignment with Catholic teachings. In the 1950s, when her film career slowed, Young found a new outlet for her principles in The Loretta Young Show. The program, celebrated for its emphasis on morality, family values, and compassion, brought her 3 Primetime Emmy Awards and established her as a role model. She insisted on storylines that upheld Christian virtues and even demanded wardrobe adjustments to maintain modesty, an example of her commitment to integrating faith into her professional life. Her devotion extended into her personal actions. Young famously adopted a daughter, Judy, born from her secret affair with Clark Gable. Rather than terminating the pregnancy, a decision aligned with her anti-abortion stance, she chose to protect her child by maintaining the appearance of an adoption despite the potential damage to her career. In later years, she became a strong supporter of Catholic charities and frequently donated to organizations that aligned with her moral beliefs. By the 1960s, she retired from acting and dedicated herself entirely to a life of faith and service. Her later years were marked by prayer, reflection, and charitable work, including advocating for pro-life causes and promoting spiritual education. Loretta Young's life remains a compelling example of how faith can guide personal and professional decisions, even in the face of Hollywood's glittering temptations. Myrna Loy. Myrna Loy, often called the Queen of Hollywood, was one of the most popular actresses of the Golden Age. Known for her roles in the Thin Man series, The Best Years of Our Lives, and Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, she captured hearts with her elegance, humor, and intelligence. By the 1930s and 1940s, Loy was one of the most sought-after stars, starring in over 120 films and earning a reputation as the perfect wife for her roles as a loyal, supportive partner on screen. Despite her success, Loy began to feel disconnected from Hollywood in the 1940s. The industry's focus on fame and profit felt shallow, and she became increasingly frustrated with the lack of meaningful roles for women as they aged. Her experiences during World War II also had a profound effect on her. She joined the Red Cross and worked tirelessly for humanitarian causes, which gave her a new sense of purpose and made her question whether acting alone could fulfill her. After the war, Loy began exploring faith and spirituality. A Presbyterian friend introduced her to church services, and she found comfort in the community and moral guidance they offered. She also became heavily involved in UNESCO, working on issues like education, human rights, and poverty. Loy saw this work as a way to live out her spiritual beliefs by helping others and fighting for justice. Her decision to step back from Hollywood wasn't easy. Studio executives criticized her for turning down roles, and some of her peers didn't understand why she would give up such a successful career. Loy also faced personal struggles, including loneliness and doubt about her path. However, she remained committed to her new focus on service and faith. In her later years, Loy became an advocate for fair housing and racial equality, and she quietly continued her humanitarian work. When she passed away in 1993 at the age of 88, she left behind more than her acting legacy. She was remembered as a woman of grace and integrity, someone who walked away from the spotlight to follow a deeper calling. Myrna Loy's journey shows how faith and service can bring meaning, even to the most glamorous of lives. Pat Boone. When Pat Boone left the glitz and glamour of mainstream Hollywood, many were surprised. Boone, a beloved teen idol of the 1950s and 1960s, had built a stellar career as a singer, actor, and television host. Known for his clean-cut image and charm, Boone sold nearly 50 million records, starred in films like State Fair, and hosted the Pat Boone Chevy Showroom on ABC. At the height of his fame, he was second only to Elvis Presley in popularity, earning a place in the hearts of families across America. However, Boone's journey was not without challenges. By the 1960s, cultural shifts in music and film began to overshadow his wholesome image. The raw energy of rock and roll, led by acts like the Beatles, made Boone's polished style feel out of place. His acting career also slowed, with projects like The Main Attraction struggling to connect with audiences. Personally, Boone's lifestyle during this period was turbulent. His marriage to Shirley Foley, daughter of country legend Red Foley, was strained by his growing reliance on alcohol and the pressures of fame. The turning point came when Shirley introduced Boone to the charismatic Christian movement. Deeply moved by her faith and inspired by her resilience, Boone began to reassess his priorities. He realized that his career, while successful, had left him spiritually unfulfilled. This epiphany led to a profound transformation. Boone quit drinking, recommitted himself to his family, and embraced a life centered on Christianity. Boone's newfound faith reshaped his career. He turned his focus to gospel music, releasing albums like The Family Who Prays. He and Shirley toured together, sharing their testimonies and performing faith-inspired music. Boone also founded Lamb and Lion Records, a label that supported Christian artists, including his daughter Debbie Boone, whose hit song You Light Up My Life became a cultural phenomenon. His decision to prioritize faith over fame came with sacrifices. Boone turned down roles and opportunities he felt conflicted with his values, including parts with icons like Marilyn Monroe. While this limited his mainstream appeal, it cemented his reputation as a devout Christian. In later years, Boone became a motivational speaker, conservative political commentator, and advocate for family values. Despite stepping back from Hollywood, he left an indelible mark as a symbol of integrity and faith. Pat Boone's journey from teen idol to religious advocate reminds us that success is not just about fame, but about living a life true to one's beliefs. Jane Wyman. When Jane Wyman's career slowed in the 1960s, she turned to religion as a source of purpose and solace. Wyman, the first wife of Ronald Reagan and an Academy Award-winning actress, had enjoyed a long and successful Hollywood career. Known for her powerful performance in Johnny Belinda, which earned her an Oscar in 1948, Wyman was celebrated for her ability to portray emotionally complex and deeply empathetic characters. However, behind the scenes, her personal life was marked by struggles that eventually led her to seek spiritual fulfillment. Born Sarah Jane Mayfield in 1917, Wyman experienced loss early in life. Her parents divorced when she was 4, and her father passed away shortly after. Raised by neighbors, she dreamed of a life in Hollywood where she could escape her modest beginnings. Her talent and determination paid off, leading to roles in films like The Lost Weekend and The Yearling, which showcased her versatility and depth as an actress. Wyman's personal life, however, was far from the picture-perfect image she projected on screen. Her marriage to Ronald Reagan ended in divorce in 1948, making her the first woman to divorce a future U.S. president. The heartbreak of their separation, coupled with the loss of their infant daughter, left Wyman emotionally devastated. These events planted the seeds of her eventual turn to faith. During her peak years, Wyman continued to deliver critically acclaimed performances, but as the 1950s ended, Hollywood's shifting landscape offered fewer roles for aging actresses. By the 1960s, her career had slowed significantly. This period of professional decline coincided with a growing sense of spiritual longing. Wyman found comfort in the Catholic Church, drawn to its rituals, teachings, and sense of community. Her conversion to Catholicism marked a turning point in her life. Wyman became deeply involved in her faith, dedicating much of her later years to charitable works and spiritual pursuits. She supported organizations like the Arthritis Foundation and contributed to her local parish, Sacred Heart Church in Palm Desert. Her commitment to religion brought her peace and purpose, allowing her to move beyond the disappointments of her personal and professional life. When Jane Wyman passed away in 2007 at the age of 90, she was remembered not only as a Hollywood legend, but also as a woman of deep faith who found redemption and meaning through her spiritual journey. Her life is a testament to resilience and the power of belief. Audrey Hepburn. When Audrey Hepburn stepped back from acting in the late 1960s, it marked a significant shift in her life's focus. Known for her enchanting performances in films like Breakfast at Tiffany's and Roman Holiday, Hepburn was one of Hollywood's most beloved stars. With her elegance, grace, and charm, she became a global icon, earning an Academy Award and widespread acclaim. Yet behind glamour, Hepburn carried a deep sense of compassion and a spiritual calling to help others. Born in 1929 in Belgium, Hepburn's early life was shaped by hardship. She experienced the trauma of World War II as a child in the Netherlands, where her family faced starvation under Nazi occupation. These formative years instilled in her a profound empathy for those in need. Even as she ascended to Hollywood royalty, Hepburn never lost sight of the suffering she had witnessed. By the 1960s, Hepburn began to feel disillusioned with the demands of fame. Although her career was at its peak, she longed for a quieter life, one that allowed her to focus on her family and values. After her second marriage to Italian psychiatrist Andrea Dotti in 1969, she chose to step back from acting, appearing only sporadically in films during the following decades. Hepburn's decision to pivot toward humanitarian work was deeply tied to her spiritual beliefs. Raised with Christian influences, she believed in using her privilege to uplift others. In 1988, she was appointed a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador, a role that transformed her life. Hepburn traveled extensively to some of the world's most impoverished regions, including Ethiopia, Bangladesh, and Somalia, advocating for children's rights and delivering aid. Her work with UNICEF was not just symbolic. She was actively involved in the organization's efforts, often enduring harsh conditions to bring attention to global crises. Hepburn described these missions as some of the most fulfilling experiences of her life, calling them a moral obligation. Though she didn't formally align with a religious order, her dedication reflected her faith in humanity and a deep sense of spiritual purpose. When Audrey Hepburn passed away in 1993, she left behind a legacy far greater than her films. Dolores Hart. Dolores Hart's journey from Hollywood to a life dedicated to God is one of the most remarkable transformations in entertainment history. A rising star in the late 1950s and early 1960s, she appeared alongside legends like Elvis Presley in Loving You and King Creole. Hart's talent and beauty made her a household name, and she seemed destined for a long and illustrious career in Hollywood. But at the height of her success, she made a life-changing decision. In 1963, Hart shocked the entertainment world by leaving her promising career to join the Abbey of Regina Laudes, a Benedictine monastery in Connecticut. Reflecting on this decision, Hart later explained, "I think it's important for anyone to understand that it was a dramatic change. It wasn't something I planned on. I thought I would go through my time in Hollywood. However, this vocation showed me my life's purpose. Then I started to ask myself, what am I doing in Hollywood? Where is this going to take me?" The realization became clear, and really, it's a gift. I was so lucky. God called me. Her decision stemmed from a deep spiritual calling she had felt since childhood, one that grew stronger despite the allure of fame and fortune. Hart became a cloistered nun, renouncing the glamour of Hollywood for a life of prayer, humility, and service to God. Even after joining the monastery, Hart's unique background made her a symbol of faith for many. She maintained ties with the entertainment industry, attending events like the Oscars to promote religious documentaries, such as God is the Bigger Elvis, a film about her journey. Despite her departure from acting, Hart has inspired countless individuals by showing that true fulfillment can come from answering a higher calling. Her life is a testament to the power of faith, demonstrating how one can leave behind worldly success for a greater purpose. Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis holds a special place in the hearts of baby boomers everywhere. Known for his dorky yet lovable roles in Ghostbusters and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, he became one of the defining faces of 1980s and 1990s comedy. But did you know his entertainment career began long before his Hollywood fame? In the early 1970s, Moranis worked as a radio disc jockey in Toronto under the name Rick Allen. By the late 70s, he teamed up with Winnipeg writer Ken Finkelman, producing live comedy performances and television pilots for CBC. These smaller projects honed his knack for satire and absurdity, laying the groundwork for his comedic style. All he needed was a big break. That break came in 1980, when he joined Second City Television, a Canadian sketch comedy show. Despite never performing with a stage troupe before, Moranis quickly became a standout. His impressions of celebrities like Woody Allen and Michael McDonald were spot on, but it was his role as Bob McKenzie in the Great White North sketches that became iconic. Originally created to meet Canadian content requirements, the sketches were so popular they inspired a Grammy-nominated album and the cult film Strange Brew. In 1984, Moranis transitioned to Hollywood, landing roles in Streets of Fire and Ghostbusters. His talent for blending humor and heart made him a favorite with audiences. Over the next decade, he starred in hits like Little Shop of Horrors and the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids franchise, cementing his status as a comedy legend. But in 1991, Moranis' life took a heartbreaking turn when his wife, Anne, passed away from cancer. Left to raise their 2 young children alone, he made the difficult decision to step back from Hollywood to focus on being a full-time father. For Moranis, family came first. His choice to prioritize his children over his career was met with respect and admiration from fans and colleagues alike. In 2016, Moranis declined a cameo in the Ghostbusters reboot, explaining that he wasn't retired but selective about his roles. While he has remained largely out of the spotlight, fans still hope for his return in a future Honey, I Shrunk the Kids revival, or perhaps something entirely unexpected. Rick Moranis' decision to leave Hollywood reflects a life centered on love, family, and personal priorities, a story as heartfelt as his most memorable characters. Teri Garr. Teri Garr, with her infectious charm and impeccable comedic timing, became one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses in the 1970s and 1980s. Known for her standout roles in Young Frankenstein, Tootsie, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Garr's presence lit up every scene she was in. Her ability to balance humor and vulnerability made her a favorite of both audiences and critics. Yet, behind the glamour of her career lay a personal journey filled with resilience and determination, ultimately leading her to prioritize health and advocacy over the bright lights of Hollywood. Garr's path to stardom was anything but conventional. Born in 1944 to a vaudeville performer father and a costumer mother, she grew up immersed in the world of show business. After pursuing dance at a young age, she worked as a dancer in films and television, landing early gigs in Elvis Presley movies. Her big break came when she transitioned to acting, earning a role in the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. This launched a string of roles that showcased her comedic brilliance and cemented her as a go-to actress for directors like Mel Brooks and Steven Spielberg. By the 1980s, Garr was at the height of her career, earning an Academy Award nomination for her role as Dustin Hoffman's struggling actress friend in Tootsie. Her talent extended beyond comedy, as she proved in dramatic roles that highlighted her range and depth. Despite her success, Garr began to notice mysterious health symptoms that she couldn't explain: fatigue, numbness, and weakness. In the late 1990s, after years of searching for answers, Garr was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis MS, a chronic disease affecting the nervous system. The diagnosis was a turning point in her life. Though the condition forced her to slow down her acting career, Garr refused to let it define her. Instead, she became a passionate advocate for MS awareness, using her platform to educate and inspire others facing similar challenges. Stepping back from Hollywood allowed Garr to focus on her health and advocacy. She partnered with organizations like the National Multiple Sclerosis Society and spoke openly about living with the disease. Her honesty and humor in addressing her condition endeared her even more to fans, showing a strength that matched her on-screen charisma. Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron's life is a remarkable story of transformation. While not a Golden Age actor, his journey mirrors the dramatic shifts seen in classic Hollywood stars: an early rise to fame, a life-changing personal revelation, and a move away from mainstream entertainment. Born in 1970, Cameron grew up in a typical middle-class family. Religion wasn't a significant part of his life, and as a young atheist, he didn't see much value in faith. However, everything changed as he matured, both in his career and personally. Cameron's big break came at just 15 years old, when he was cast as Mike Seaver in the hit sitcom Growing Pains. The mischievous yet lovable character made him a household name and a teen heartthrob almost overnight. He earned a Golden Globe nomination for the role, and his success opened doors to film projects like Father, Like Son and Listen to Me. By the late 1980s, Cameron was one of the most recognized faces on television. Despite his success, something profound happened during his time on Growing Pains. A co-worker invited him to attend church, and out of curiosity, he decided to go. What started as a simple visit led to deeper exploration. Cameron began reading Christian books, including Josh McDowell's More Than a Carpenter, and eventually embraced Christianity. This decision completely changed the course of his life. Cameron's newfound faith had a significant impact on his career. He started questioning certain aspects of the entertainment industry and asked for changes to Growing Pains scripts that didn't align with his beliefs. These choices caused tension with producers and marked the beginning of his gradual departure from mainstream Hollywood. By the early 2000s, Cameron had shifted his focus to Christian-based projects. He starred in the Left Behind movie series, based on best-selling apocalyptic novels, and Fireproof, an independent film about marriage and faith, which became a surprise box office hit. Beyond acting, he became a prominent advocate for family values, writing books, speaking at events, and creating campfire revivals to encourage faith-filled living. Though his strong religious views have drawn both praise and criticism, Cameron remains deeply committed to his beliefs. For him, faith is not just a part of his life. It defines his purpose and guides every decision he makes. Betty Hutton. Betty Hutton, famously dubbed the incendiary blonde of Hollywood, was a powerhouse of talent in the 1940s and 1950s. With her boundless energy, commanding voice, and electric screen presence, she captivated audiences in films like Annie Get Your Gun and The Greatest Show on Earth. But behind her dazzling performances lay a life marked by pain, resilience, and ultimately, profound transformation. Born in Detroit during the Great Depression, Hutton's early life was turbulent. Her father abandoned the family when she was a child, leaving her single mother to work as a bootlegger to make ends meet. Hutton began singing at just 3 years old, entertaining patrons at her mother's speakeasy. Her natural talent and determination eventually led to performances in local clubs, where she was discovered by orchestra leader Vincent Lopez. Hutton's Hollywood career began to soar in the early 1940s, with her vibrant personality and comedic timing making her a star. Audiences loved her vivacious energy and charisma, and she quickly became one of the most popular performers of her era. However, her personal life was anything but glamorous. Struggles with her mother's alcoholism and the lingering effects of her father's abandonment left deep emotional scars. In 1952, while filming The Greatest Show on Earth, Hutton suffered an injury that led to an addiction to prescription drugs. This addiction marked the start of a downward spiral. After leaving Paramount Pictures, her career faltered. By the 1970s, Hutton faced multiple failed marriages, financial ruin, and deep personal despair, battling addiction and struggling to find stability. Her turning point came when she met Father Peter McGuire of St. Anthony's Church in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. His compassion and guidance helped Hutton rebuild her life. She embraced Catholicism and found solace in her faith. Determined to turn her life around, she completed her high school education and went on to earn a master's degree in liberal studies. In her later years, Hutton taught drama and worked to inspire others who had faced adversity. She used her experiences to help others find redemption, much as she had. When she passed away in 2007 at the age of 86, Hutton left behind a legacy not only of iconic performances, but also of resilience, faith, and transformation. Her life serves as a reminder that it's never too late to find peace and purpose. Patricia Neal. Patricia Neal's journey from Hollywood stardom to a life grounded in faith and resilience was shaped by a series of profound personal tragedies and health crises. Known for her roles in The Day the Earth Stood Still and her Oscar-winning performance in HUD, Neal was celebrated as one of the most gifted actresses of her time. However, her success masked a turbulent personal life that eventually led her to seek strength in God. Neal's marriage to author Roald Dahl was both loving and fraught with heartbreak. In 1962, the couple faced an unimaginable loss when their 7-year-old daughter, Olivia, died of measles encephalitis. The tragedy devastated Neal, and she struggled to find meaning amidst her grief. Just 2 years earlier, their infant son, Theo, had been critically injured in a car accident, leaving him with lifelong disabilities. These events left Neal emotionally shattered, and she began questioning the direction of her life. The breaking point came in 1965 when Neal, pregnant with her 5th child, suffered 3 massive strokes. The strokes left her unable to walk, talk, or even remember her lines. Her doctors believed she would never recover fully, and her acting career seemed over. During her arduous rehabilitation, Neal found herself turning to prayer, seeking solace and strength from God. Her faith became a cornerstone of her recovery, giving her the resilience to endure grueling therapy and relearn basic skills. One poignant moment highlighted Neal's determination. Dahl, known for his tough love approach, pushed her relentlessly during her recovery, forcing her to speak and regain her independence. Neal later credited both her faith and her family's unwavering support for pulling her through. Incredibly, she returned to acting just 2 years later, earning an Academy Award nomination for The Subject Was Roses in 1968. As her faith deepened, Neal began sharing her story of perseverance, speaking candidly about her struggles and recovery. She often spoke of a profound moment when she felt God's presence during her darkest days, which she described as a turning point in her spiritual journey. Neal used her platform to inspire others facing adversity, dedicating herself to spreading a message of hope and resilience. Patricia Neal's life was a testament to the power of faith in overcoming life's most daunting challenges. Her story remains an enduring symbol of strength, grace, and spiritual rebirth. Norma McCarty. Norma McCarty's brief but intriguing time in Hollywood is overshadowed by her later life of religious devotion. Known for her role in the cult classic Plan 9 from Outer Space, McCarty's Hollywood career was short-lived but memorable. After stepping away from the industry, she found a new calling in ministry, dedicating herself to a life of spiritual fulfillment. McCarty's entry into Hollywood was modest, with Plan 9 from Outer Space standing out as her most notable role. Directed by the eccentric Ed Wood, the film became infamous as one of the worst movies ever made, but later gained a cult following for its quirky charm. While McCarty's part in the film wasn't large, it remains a defining piece of her brief career. Despite Hollywood's allure, McCarty's experience in the entertainment industry didn't align with her personal values. She found the glitz and glamour of Tinseltown unfulfilling, prompting her to reevaluate her life's direction. After leaving Hollywood, McCarty turned to religion, finding purpose and meaning in ministry. While little is documented about her journey, her decision to embrace faith marked a clear break from her acting career. It's likely that her search for deeper meaning, combined with a desire for a more grounded and purposeful life, led her down this spiritual path. McCarty's commitment to her faith shaped the rest of her life. She transitioned into ministry, dedicating her time and energy to helping others and spreading spiritual teachings. Her life after Hollywood was far removed from the fleeting fame she experienced in the film industry. Norma McCarty's journey from Hollywood to ministry is a testament to the power of personal transformation. While her acting career may have been brief, her decision to leave it behind for a life of devotion shows a deep commitment to her beliefs. For McCarty, the spotlight of Hollywood paled in comparison to the fulfillment she found in faith, proving that true purpose often lies beyond fame. We have also seen recent examples of actors leaving Hollywood, either for religion or humanitarian work. Popular actors like Chris Tucker and others have chosen to step away from the limelight to focus on their faith, family, or making a difference in the world. These decisions remind us that even in the glittering world of fame, many stars prioritize their personal beliefs and the desire to give back over the allure of stardom.